hello, Regina. This has been like a long time coming, and just so excited that we could finally make the connection. I mean, we're not like sitting in front of each other, like really in the flesh, but this is as close as we can get right now. Thank
Right.
goodness for, virtual reality. How have you been?
I've been great. I've been great. Doing well.
Good, good. I know. I mean, before I even get started, I just have to say congratulations on the new addition to the family. Is
Thank
in
you.
Savon Cooking, and
Yeah.
you can tell us more about that as we talk. But before we get started, I don't want to leave anything out. Can you just introduce everybody to who you are and what is your family like?
Well, hello. I am Regina, and I'm actually a disabled veteran and retiree. Um, Mother of four. My husband is a carpenter. He's not here right now. But that's just pretty much who I am. I'm a free spirited person. I love to have fun, meet new people, get out, and just enjoy life.
Hmm. Hmm. And you all call yourself One Family Love?
Yeah, one love family.
One Love Family. What
hmm
does One Love Family stand for?
Just basically, just the over the past year, with all the stuff and the tension going on, I feel like it's about love, and I think that we should be more, loving to others and not with all the racial tension and stuff. We just everybody needs to show love, and
Okay.
and so I want to bring that kind of vibe to everyone. Like everyone I meet is just it's just all love here.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that. You're right. And that's where I'm at. I'm at the same place that I want folks to connect differently. You know, I don't want to say better or more or whatever, because connecting differently for some folks could be connecting less. So
Yeah.
I just want folks to connect authentically to who they are first and then to whatever else that may come. So
Right.
now you say you're a disabled vet,
hmm
you're a mother,
Of
you are a
course.
wife,
Yes.
you're wearing all of these hats, and you are a nomad. You are a nomad family. Okay?
Yeah.
So tell me more about that. When did you get started? What made you do this? How do you manage? What did your day look like? Come on, share with us. Let me fill me in.
So we got started back January. We bought our first RV January 1st.
Hmm.
And what made us get started is like we had moved from Washington State to Atlanta, and things weren't just going right. And I think I came across a video on YouTube,
Hmm.
and I was like, we could do this. Like this looks like fun. Instead of paying all these bills,
Hmm.
I'd rather just get an RV and travel, and it would be something good for the kids. So I want to say it probably took us 4 months, and we were like, let's get an RV. We bought our first RV, which was a Class A,
Okay.
and we actually drove it back to Washington State.
Okay.
And I was pregnant currently, so I just had a baby. So he's one, and he was
Mhm.
premature. So we'll
Oh,
get into that.
wow.
So
You had a
once I
baby while you were traveling from Atlanta to DC?
no from Atlanta to Washington State.
Oh, from Atlanta to Washington State. Oh my gosh, that's all the way clear on the other side.
Right. So I was
Oh.
pregnant during that journey. And then once
Mhm.
we got here, I probably was here like 3 weeks, and he came at 25 weeks. So,
Mhm.
what else? A day in the life for us, is just homeschool. I, I'm not, I guess, like unschooling or whatnot. So we're
Mhm.
not really following anybody's curriculum.
Okay.
We're just doing our own thing, and they have their notebooks and their workbooks that they work on, and
Mhm.
some of the stuff like I do like tablet or whatever they're interested in. Like we
Mhm.
kind of focus on that more
Okay.
because I do believe like you want to build up that child and what they like versus just forcing education on them.
Mhm.
So Yeah, what else did you ask?
Mhm. So when you wake up in the morning, because you all are a large family, right now it's a family of 5. It's still really a family of 6, even though the
It
other
is.
one is still in the bond. It's still a family of 6 because there are challenges that come up with being, pregnant on the road. So it's not
Yes.
like that's ignored until the baby gets here. That your one in the bond is still included in how you are made
Right.
every day. So
So
you
for
say you're a disabled vet, but
mhm.
you're I mean, they're able body. When you say disabled, I'm not making any assumptions, but there are people that have full ability that are not willing or that are afraid to just step out on their faith in life. And
Well,
and
kind
you
of,
did that.
yeah, because I mean, in the military, it's all about the unknown for me. You
Mhm,
never know what's going to happen. Things change all the time. So why not be free, especially just being tied down to that and just
mhm,
thinking you have to live, in regular society or what they call normal, you
mhm,
know? It's just I'm used to traveling. I lived in Germany for 4.5 years. So traveling is nothing for me. So it's pretty easy. But for me being disabled, I don't mind talking about. I do have PTSD and
mhm,
I hurt my hips and my back, which is why I'm out in the military when I had my daughter.
mhm.
So, some people look and be like, oh, it's disabled vet, but you don't really know somebody's story unless you
Right.
ask them. And I don't mind telling.
Okay. Okay. And I really appreciate you and your willingness to share your story like that for the simple fact mental health is one of the things that without adequate mental health, we can't do anything. You can't,
Right.
I'm wondering, what is freedom? How do you find freedom? But if you're not free in your mind, because
Right,
you're struggling with some mental health issue, be it post-traumatic stress disorder, be it depression, be it anxiety, schizophrenia, there's so many things that a person could be challenged with. And
right.
a society somehow re-victimize the victim for
Mhm.
having this challenge, because then
Right,
it becomes stigmatized. And so then folks won't share what's going on, and then that increases the level of whatever it is that you're dealing with, and it also put people at high risk for suicide. So I just
right.
want to thank you, for that. There are a lot of veterans that have some type of disability, not only physical, but mental and emotional disability. Yeah.
This is true, this is true. And a lot of people don't like to talk about it because
Mhm.
of the stigma that comes with it or what people think, but I feel like if the more open I am, I can help somebody else, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
So why not get that out? And then too, if you're not talking about it, then you're just pretty much holding this stuff in. Who wants to do that? And then you have to deal with that on the inside by yourself, and that brings on more issues and depression or whatnot. So you got to get it out.
Mhm. And also, with that said, I just want to ask you this because uh, folks always ask me. I'm a psychotherapist. I have a doctorate degree in clinical psychology, and I also work as a life coach. Okay. And I run into people that have chosen to live alternative lifestyles in various ways, not just living as a nomad or off the grid. But one thing I've found living the life that you are living with your family, and then you have these challenges with your disability, with your physical disability, also with your emotional disability. Um, and I'm not minimizing post traumatic stress disorder because it is huge, but it is an emotional dysregulation. Okay. And so I want to, put that out there. How do you deal with that being outside? Do you have a support uh, community, or who do you go to when you need to talk? Because there are a lot of folks out here like this that don't know what to do about it.
Right. For me, it's kind of hard to like talk to people sometimes because, um, I don't know, like I don't want to put that on you, or I feel like I don't want to put my negative energy or what I'm going through on somebody. So if it gets really bad, like I'll call the VA hospital and talk to my therapist there and stuff like that. But my husband is like my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple of friends that I can call, but then again, I kind of just deal with. I've learned maybe that's like a trauma response, but
Mm-hmm.
I've learned to kind of just deal with stuff myself because sometimes people don't understand, or you know
Mm-hmm.
who you can talk to. So, or just kind of get up and make my day, or deal with my kids, what kind of takes my brain off of what's going on. So because I have to always be a mom. Like I can't, for me, I know some people might be hard, but for me, I can't not be a mother. Like I have to get up and take care of my babies or whatnot.
So when you get up to take care of your babies, do you get up like in a regular household and just like get up and start cooking breakfast and taking showers and doing this? What do you do?
So we are plant-based. So, and my daughter is highly allergic to eggs and stuff. And my kids, they don't like breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
So they pretty much get up and they decide what they want to eat. It's your choice. I'm not gonna force a meal on you. And they fix their food, brush your teeth, make up their beds, and because living in a tiny space, it can get cluttered very fast,
Mm-hmm.
especially with 5 people in that space.
Exactly.
So,
Mm-hmm.
and right now we're in a 29-foot trailer camper.
Mm-hmm.
So we're moving into a 40-foot bus. I cannot wait to get a little bit more space. But we just kind of go along, get our day started, take our showers, get everything going. Let's get on this, let's clean up, and then we'll start on schoolwork.
Mm-hmm.
Like typically children go to school maybe like 8 o'clock in the morning. They probably start school like 10, 11 o'clock because we have other things that we do first.
Okay.
And after that, they kind of make their lunches. They choose what they want. They get to pick. I'm not picky. I let you pick what you want to eat. Mommy will cook it for you, or
Mm-hmm.
you can help me cook, and
Okay.
we just hang out. And
So it sounds like you are actually teaching your children about making choices that are connected to them being authentically who they are, from
right.
how they're learning to what they're eating, you know. And society says, and I have folks that say to me, um, kids need structure. And I'm always the one that's saying structure does not equate a brick and mortar.
Mm-hmm.
Structure equates like what you're describing. So when
Right.
someone say, how do you provide your kids with structure living as a nomad, what would you say?
To me, what is structure? Who's making this? Who told you how structure is?
Mm,
I grew up in a strict household where
mm,
we couldn't do anything. If I cook it, you're eating it, even if I don't, if you don't like it.
mm,
So, I, to me, what is structure? For me, I just want them to be able to make their own choices. If you don't like something, I'm not going to force, because once they get older, they're going to feel like, well, I'm forced to do this. Even though I don't like it, I may be forced to do so. And I want them to be able to voice their opinions and say, well, no, I don't want that, or no,
mm,
I don't want to do that.
mm.
Because when we force this structure, then I think it just dims down the person's light and who they are, what they want. Or, I like school. When you go to school, kids are fall in line. You got to walk on this side of the hallway in a straight line. And to
Mhm.
me, that's not building structure.
That's
You
more
have
like
rules.
institutionalizing, right?
Yes. Or it reminds me of prison. That's how I
Mhm,
feel.
mhm,
And even with being in the military, it's the same kind of way. You gotta walk this way. You gotta do things this way. To me, that doesn't build structure. That just builds a person that's obedient to
Mm-hmm.
whatever you say. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you to be, I want you to be obedient, listen to me, but I don't want to be forceful and not let you be able to have an opinion or be able to speak up for yourself, because those are things that I've struggled with as a child, even as an adult, like trying to get out and be free to be myself and who I want to be, because I've been conditioned to be like, you have to be this way, this way, and this is that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's my daughter.
So it's just like I'm saying with my desire to start, speaking to folks about what does freedom mean to you. How does your definition of freedom contribute to you being able to tap into your authentic self? Because a lot of folks think when you say freedom, that means that you don't follow rules. It means that you're nonconformist. It means all those things. And it doesn't
Right,
necessarily mean that. So tell me, you're teaching your children how to be free and critical thinkers in their life as they grow, and that will contribute to them being happier, confident people in their lives
right,
as they grow. They don't get to be an adult then say, oh wow, I have to figure out how now I'm gonna be a confident adult, how I'm gonna be a happy
right.
person. So you're teaching them that now, and with you being able to teach them that, tell me, what does freedom mean to you? What does it really mean?
So for me, freedom just means being myself, being able to do what I want to do. Not keeping up with the Joneses. I noticed that before we just picked this lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
like we had so many cars and a big old house, and you want your house to look like this, and you just spending so much money on other things. And I, for me, it's just like, no, I want to break away from that. Like, I want to be able to just be myself and be happy with being myself. And if you don't like the way I am, then, move on, move to the left, it's fine. But just for me, it's just being able to be myself and allow my kids to see who mommy really is. So you're not
Mm-hmm.
wondering when as an adult, well, mom used to be like this. Like, no, I want you to know your mother, know who she is, know how to live life, and be. And for another thing for freedom is a lot of us don't know how to really take care of ourselves and be self-sustainable and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And for me, that's a part of freedom. Like, I follow rules. I'm not a lawbreaker or anything like that. Like, I'm a big, big person on that. I don't want to break any laws, get any trouble, but I just want to be free to be myself. Like, I think when I first got my locks, I dyed my locks green. It's kind of like a rebellious for me. Like, I just went green and bright color, yellow hair, and that for me was being free. Like, I don't have to conform to what society says I should look like,
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
what all my kids have locks in their hair. My husband has locks, so we are just free spirited people, just roam around. You don't have to look a certain way, you don't have to dress a certain way, act a certain way. I don't have to go work a 9 to 5. you know
Mm-hmm.
I'm just free to do what I want to do, as long as my grandmother says this, as long as you're not hurting yourself and nobody else, you're fine. So
Absolutely. That's oh, your grandmother must have taught me as well, because that is one of my main mantras is like, when you want to decide if you should do something, if it's okay to do it, first give yourself a few minutes and think about it. What is the outcome? What will be the outcome? Not just the immediate gratification, but what will the outcome be? Will that outcome hurt you, or will that outcome hurt somebody else in the long run?
right,
And if the answer is yes on either side, then the response is to don't do it,
right,
you know? So when you talk about freedom, I mean, that is freedom. Freedom from judgment, freedom
mhm,
from expectations, because we get caught up in the judgment and somebody else say we shoulda, woulda, coulda, and the expectations that
Right.
You're this or that, or you have these kids that you should, would, and could be doing these things. And you're saying, I just say no to that. However, I teach my kids to follow the rules. I teach my children to be contributing members of society, just like I am. But our decisions are not based in what has been socially projected upon us as valuable, because what society projects upon us as valuable, then you start questioning yourself if you're good enough, if I'm good.
Right.
And when you have that question about being good enough, then you start doubting who you
Right.
are.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're speaking to my heart with that because that was a big thing for me for
Mhm,
years. Like I just never felt good enough, or people judge and they don't think I should be doing certain stuff a
mhm,
certain way, or it's like
mhm,
now I don't care. And that was, oh my God, last year, that was a big thing for me when we first moved into the RV because I'm like, am I
mhm,
doing the right thing? My dad had little certain things that he had to say about it. And
mhm.
I'm just like, you know what? There are plenty of people living like this and their kids look healthy, happy, and
Mhm,
fine.
mhm,
And if you ask my kids, they love it. Like they love traveling, they love being able to sightsee.
mhm.
And my daughter even said, she's like, I'm not going back to regular school. We just going to
Okay.
homeschool. And I'm like, okay, that's what you
Mhm,
want to do. That's fine with me. I'll be here, because you would really get wrapped up in that thinking that, well, if I'm not doing anything good enough or what you say is good enough, then I'm wrong.
right.
And and that shouldn't be like that. Everybody should be free to make a choice to do what they please.
Now,
And
in this life that you're living as nomads, a lot of people think nomads is homeless. I am just one of those people that's trying to say, look, nomad means not going mad, trying to fix and manage something that you really are not committed to, but you'll do it because society say that's what you're supposed to do. I'm talking
right,
about all of the brick and mortar, all of the sitting at the in the office, and all of the working 50 years, and they give you a watch at the end and it's gold plated, and then you don't even have health care to take care of yourself at the end of
right.
that. But what are the ages of your children, and how do they have social outlets? I know I'm aware that this life really brings phenomenal learning because you get to truly educate them in vitro. They get that experience. You're not teaching them the geography; they are living geography. You know what I
Right,
mean? You're not teaching them history; they're living history. you know,
right,
and being self-sustainable. You're not teaching them science, they are living science to be
right.
self-sustainable. So there is never a better lesson than one learned by living that particular thing. So what are the ages of your kids, and is there anything they do to be social?
So my oldest is 9, then I have a 7-year-old and a 1-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very social. Like right now, there's kids outside playing, and normally, if my son was here, he'd probably be outside playing with the other kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have kids at my grandmother's house that they visit and play with. So wherever they meet, there's always friends. There's always people to meet. So hey, you don't have to be stuck in one way to not be social. Or like if since we're here on the West Coast, he has a best friend that's on the East Coast. They
Mm-hmm.
talk on the phone, they call each other. So it's not something that you're lacking. I feel
Okay.
like they're more social
Mm-hmm.
and more outgoing now that they are not in school.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
I've known,
what
especially for
about
my 7-year-old.
And what about with you and your husband? Folks say that, if you're always with each other always, then you never have time to breathe or just be on your own. What about you guys? How do you manage social and space?
I think it's fine if we want space, we'll just give each other space. Like, it's not a big deal. I actually like it better. He likes it better too. Because you gotta think your husband is gone all day long to work or whatnot. So what? How can you say you're not together or we're together all the time? Technically, you're not if you guys are both working a 9 to 5.
Okay.
And this is funny to me because I think the pandemic first got started and people could go shopping at I think Joann's was open, and I overheard a lady saying she was sick of her husband being at home. And I was just like, I don't understand why, I couldn't understand that. Like, I'm just like, I'm glad, my husband's here and he's around and the kids get to see him all the time. They, with my 1-year-old, he's been there the whole time. So, and that's good. Some dads don't get to see that. Even for myself, being a ex-military, like my oldest two, they were at daycare 10, 12 hours a day.
Oh wow.
So, right. So therefore, I say this is a joke, but I would call myself the baby daddy because I want to get my kids after work, and I have to feed them and send them to bed, and then on the weekends. So now, like, just being able to be around them, we're learning our kids more. You see them, you get to understand them. You get to watch it. He watches his baby
Okay.
walk for the first time, cry. He's not missing any of those things. So therefore, I love it. Like, we love to. He's going to build on the bus. I'm going over there too, and I might just sit
Okay.
around pregnant, but I just want to be there. I just want to be
Okay.
around.
So yeah, you all are just connected on a emotional, physical, and spiritual level. The
Yes,
entire family and living this life give you all the freedom of the options of how you want to do this. What suggestions would you offer to anyone that's opting for freedom? And again, opting for freedom does not necessarily mean living as a nomad. It doesn't not necessarily mean not paying bills. It doesn't necessarily mean any of those things. But in your sense of freedom and what freedom means to you, what will you offer to somebody else that may be stuck trying to decide?
do it. Go for it. Whatever it is that you have been dreaming, go for it because you will waste your time stuck in that 9 to 5 or stuck in whatever society is saying. If you want to go out here and explore, please.
Your sound went away. Your mic went off. There you go.
I think it cut out on me.
Okay.
Whatever it is that you want to do, please, go and do and enjoy yourself while you're doing it because you only get this lifetime to do the things that you want to do. And I really don't want to be stuck in my 70s saying, "Oh, I wish I would have done that," I kind of learned that from my grandmother because she travels and even to this day, she will hop on a plane and go somewhere and she's in her 80s. So therefore, it's just being free to do whatever it is you want to do. Like, go for it.
Okay. And a lot of families are, not just families, but individuals are afraid of stepping out of their comfort zone to become free because there are so many things that society has placed upon us to say that if you do those things, then somehow you're not normal. You are a grand example of hitting the restart button, okay? Restart button. Not start over, but just restart. Let's start from where we are right here, right now, and create this life that we live and the life that we love. I want to
Right.
thank you for being able to do that. I want to thank you for having so much courage that, I mean, wow, being a disabled vet, balancing your life with your children, with the baby on the way, continuing to evolve in your housing, that's really funny. you're evolving in your housing. You had an A class, now you got a camper trailer, now you're getting ready to get the bus.
Mhm.
So it's still like, okay, we got to get a different house. The same thing people do with brick and mortars. You are still living the life of finding what you need to manage your family, the best that you need to manage your family.
Right. And for me, it's good because every RV that we've owned. So
Okay.
therefore, I'm not paying anybody's bills. We went from a Class A to a fifth wheel to
Hmm.
this camper, and now we got a 40-foot bus. And I think just by traveling, you get to know like what your family needs.
Yes.
You just move. Don't do that, please. You get to do what you do what you need. You get what you need, and you move with that. Hey, go with
That's
the
so
flow.
funny because, like, usually people will start off with a camper and then they may go to a fifth wheeler, you know, or they may go to a bus and then they'll go to a class A. It's like you started out with the class A and you just switched all around.
Yes.
So that's amazing. That's amazing. Well, again, I want to thank you. I want to thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to have this conversation with you on opting for freedom and just continue to live by example. Continue because you are a living example of choosing to be your authentic self. Is workable, it's livable, it's possible. And when I say that, I'm not saying in the vein of just barely making it and accepting just what's been thrown out at you. You are literally making choices to live your best life.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. And I really appreciate you for having me. This is my first time, so excuse me guys if I sound like I'm all over the place, but this is like my first time doing anything like this. But it's good to be here and it's good to share because I know there are many people wondering if they can make it or what it's like. But hey, you can make it, you
Mhm,
can do what you want to do. Hey, and I say this God always gave us the choice. He gave us the option to make a choice. So
mhm, mhm,
make your choice and don't feel bad in that. Go ahead and live your
mhm,
life freely and enjoy. Because hey, we're only here once at this
mhm,
time.
mhm. And there's no mistake. The only
No,
mistake is doing nothing.
right. And I think that's fear. Fear is a mistake.
Mhm.
If you don't get out of that and let go of that fear of, hey, well, it doesn't matter what somebody else thinks. It only matters about what makes you happy. And for those that think it matters, guess what? You're going to find the people that are just like you, that want to be in your circle, and that's going to fit. I always say, blood doesn't make you family, so that you're going to find your family. Hey, we just related, but I'm going to go out
Mhm.
here and find the people that match me. And
Exactly. Exactly. I always say that bloodline is only kinship. Family you choose.
right.
Okay. And with that, I consider us family as well because I'm
Yes,
living the
indeed.
nomadic life too. Okay. All right. I will talk to you later. Go take care of those children. And I hope to have you in the conversation again soon.
Yes, please ask me. I'm here.
Okay. All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.